advised them to come together to choose one leader to be their leader. That's unity. And they are obeyed to do that. So on the day when he was going to choose a traditional leader for all the 8 clans, they met at a point in Kumasi that we shall see later. And he advised the leaders of the clans to take samples of their hair, samples of their fingernails and their toenails, put them together and bent it. When he bent these parts of their body, that was the beginning of the unity among them. So after he had done that, he performed the oracles and a stool made in the form of gold. Most of the wooden stools that you have seen are in the shape of that stool. So the stool made of gold fell from the skies and it landed on the laps of one of the clan leaders who had met at that time. The traditional priest told them that this is the choice of of our ancestors for him to be the leader of the united group. So Nana Osei Tutu became the first Asante king around that time, 1697. And the traditional priest told them that their unity would break or fall apart if they lose that golden stool. So all of them must come together at any point to defend and keep the golden stool. So you would learn today that there were about 10 full-scale wars between the Asantes and the British and the other Europeans when they wanted to conquer the Asantes and rule them. And because of this unity, they were all united to defend their golden stool because the traditional ways had informed them that if they lose the golden stool, they will fall apart and they will be ruled again. So the first test was a kingdom called Denchira. Denchira was the one who were ruling Asante when it was a clan state. But when they came together, they were able to defeat the Denchiras and gain their independence from them. So when they gained their independence, they formed the Asante Kingdom. The Asante Kingdom, which has existed since 1697 up to today. So today we will have the opportunity of visiting the palace of the king of the Asante Kingdom. The kingdom is known as the Kingdom of Gold because they sit on gold. There is a gold mine in Asante that had started large scale gold mining in 1694. 1694, they were mining gold, and they have mined gold up to today. They mine about 1 million ounces of gold from that mine, single mine. So for over 100 years, in 1894 up to today, they have been mining constantly every year. And they still have gold deposit that will last for the next 25 years. So it's the single largest gold deposit that we have, one of the largest gold deposits in the world today. And it makes sense if they fought that many wars to defend their land because they knew the worth of the land. And it is the traditional history of such a people that we are going to visit today. Our first store is going to be the craft villages. From there, we'll proceed to the town, the Kumasi city, and do a tour of the Misha Palace and other parts of the city. When the Queen of England visited Ghana in 1961, she came to Asante and she nicknamed the city the Garden City of West Africa. So we had the opportunity of seeing the Garden City of West Africa this afternoon. The craft village that we are going to see today, the first one is going to be the Kentewi village. It It is believed that these people we are going to meet were the ones who started kente weaving in Asante. You'll be surprised that for over 300 years, weaving has been going on in this small village up to today. In the absence of schools and written books and computers of today and other gadgets that could help them to maintain this culture, they have been able to keep this tradition of weaving for centuries by simply passing it on one generation to the other. The elders teach young ones, and the young ones teach those who are following. That is why you have come all the way back home for 300 years to witness the weaving as it was started. Yeah. They tell us that as elders, if you want to keep this simple tradition, we have to pass on our experience in Africa and Ghana to the young ones back at home. The photographs and the information that you're receiving now is not for you, but it's for those behind you, so that this tradition of coming back home will continue for centuries. Just as it has been done here in these villages, and you have come back for centuries to see how it is done. And that's it. Thank you. This is only my way of introduction. We have a lot to talk about, and that's it.
All right, I'm just gonna add on to what Yao also said. Our first stop, Kente Weaving Village, and just to when you get there, you even hear more. But sometimes I like to give a bit, prepare you so you know what you would hear and see, and also going to do. So the village we're going, like Yao said, have been practicing weaving of Kente for a very long time, and the word Kente, some say it's a corrupt local word that comes from Kenten. Kenten in the Asante language means basket, basket, and these baskets are woven from either the palm tree fronds or raffia palms. You know what raffia is? It's another type of a palm tree. If you look to your left, that's my right. Sorry, if you look to your right, that's my left. Those are the trees you see are the palm trees. Can you see them? Yes, these are the palm trees. Lots of them, and they are very useful. And from the vines of the tree, when you take out the leaves, the tree has many uses. But then from the vines of the trees, you could get strips of fine, how do I call it? Do I say wood or certain strips that you can use to weave baskets, traditional baskets that we use. And so locally we call it kente. So when the first kente was done and shown to the Asante king, he said that, wow, this looks like weaving a basket. And so the name kente comes out from it. Okay. And also the kente fabric is woven in three types, which we go when we get there, you'll get to see them. They are woven in three types. We have the single weaving, the double weaving, and then the multiple weaving. Yes. To differentiate between them, the single weaving is very simple, it's very plain. You can actually identify the background color of the kente of the fabric. Okay. So for example, if they actually woven in looms. So in the loom they have a way of setting it up. When you get there you actually it will come alive to you so you see it. And so in the loom they have a very background color or their basic color they're going to use. If it is red, when they weave it, you can identify that this was woven with a red fabric or red thread. For a double weaving, it's a combination of two or three of them. And then after that, you would have the triple one. The triple one, you wouldn't identify the base thread or color that was used. It is so intertwined with multiple colors, so you wouldn't see. So, for example, if you look at your headrest on the seat, this is a replica of kente, but it's a material factory printed. This, who can tell me the base color of this? So yellow is dominant, but you can see black. You can't see, you can't tell. You might not know because this is a triple or multiple weaving type. This, no. Yes, so in terms of the price, the multiple weaving kente is more expensive than the double, than the single. Yes, and kente is woven in strips. In strips. Dr. Melvin bought one kente, and so it's woven in that long strip, and then they are put together to form a whole piece, a whole big piece. And if you saw Nana in his coronation, the way he put on the cloth, so that's how we do it traditionally here. We put on the cloth, and today most of you or some of you will try to put on the cloth. We would do that at the weaving center, and then you could take pictures with it. Yes. And the ladies also have their own. So over the years, there has been additions to the materials that are used in making kente. When we get there, you will get to learn that as well. So when we get there, we would have a tour to give us a history. We'll walk through the community to see the young ones and the people weaving. You also get your hand. You get the opportunity to try your hands on weaving kente, and then all that. Okay. Any question? Okay. All right. With that.